Okay, let's do this. Right. Ok,
Listo.
voy a cerrar acá y, y ya son las 9. Tenemos la gente.
¿La entramos ya?
Sí, ¿qué hora es para ti? ¿Las 11?
Son las 11, sí.
Ok,
Bueno, voy a admitirlas.
listo.
Dos, tres.
Hello, Danielle. Hello, everybody. Evelyn. Evelyn, is that how I pronounce your name? Heather, Brittany, Danielle, Maria, Kim. Welcome. Welcome to HIC Parenting. Welcome to this class. I cannot wait to share with you my system that has helped so many parents stop toxic reactions and parent their children with peace. Before we start, this is a Zoom call, it's not a webinar. We are going to be interacting. I want to know who is here. If you could please open your cameras real quick so I don't just see names and pictures, so I see people. If you can turn on your cameras. And then I want to start as well with setting up a clear intention. So I'm going to be looking at the comments and at the chat, the comment section throughout our class. So if you could please open the chat, and Avelin, yes, go ahead, turn your camera on. Hello, can you hear me? Can you guys hear me? Federico, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay, cool. Heather, how are you? Okay, so if you could please turn your cameras on so I can see you real quick. I see who is here. And then I want to start with setting up a clear intention. If you could please type in the chat why you want to get out of this class. Why did you take up time to be with us here? What was that thing that pulled you to say yes to this class? If you could please type in the chat your intention, what pulled you to say to you to this class, and the ages of your kids. I would love to see it because I always like to see who is here in the room when I'm teaching. Hi, Heather. Nice to meet you. Welcome. Welcome to this class. Alma, Corey Gonzalez, Maria Brioni. Okay, awesome. What's your intention, Heather, for this class? If you could please enable your mic. Fede, are they able to enable their mics? Okay.
No.
I see
It's,
Aveline. Aveline, what's your intention for this class?
no, they can.
Hi, Danielle. How are you? Nice to meet you. What's
Great.
your
Sorry, I
intention for
couldn't.
this class?
My intention for the class is to figure out some new techniques to connecting with my 18-year-old. I have a tendency to react to some of her
Okay.
behaviors. So,
Okay. Okay.
and I'd like to not react so strongly to some of those things.
Okay. So when you say react, what do you mean by that? And by the way, this is judgment free. I
Yeah.
just want to understand.
So I think she is my stepdaughter and has a tendency to like shut down instead of connect. And so in situations where we are tending to be connecting, she will shut off and then say like sharp comments, or like she puts up walls. And then I react to those things, try to get her to not put up her walls, and then we just go back and
Mm,
forth.
okay.
And then also she doesn't like to be told what to do, as any teenager
Okay.
would.
So when you
So
say she puts up walls and you react, when you react, what do you feel?
um, maybe frustration
Mm,
and like rejection.
okay. So
Yeah,
you feel rejected.
yeah, sure. I think that's a
Okay.
good word for
I
that.
understand. Okay. Does she know you feel that way?
Yeah, I think that we've been working on for a long time, or that she's been aware of my experience with that. And I think she's also working on it. But I think that there's only so much that there's more that I feel like I could do to be less reactive to what she's working on, if that makes sense.
Okay, I understand. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you love. And everybody give love to Danielle. I want to say that on this class, you are going to gain full understanding of the root of your reactivity, which is not that you're a bad parent, because you're not. You are going to understand what it is. And I'm going to give you 3 steps to move past that, to stop those reactions so you can connect with your daughter a lot easier. Yeah. And it's not too late if you have a teenager. We have clients of who are parents of teenagers who broke their cycle and feel a lot closer with them, and open lines of communication after they master these things that you're going to learn today.
Right.
So welcome. If everybody else, if you could please type in the chat the ages of your kids and your intention for this session, for this class, that would be great. So this is what we're going to do. We have Federico. He's a member of our team. Say hi, Federico. Well, he's the one with the logo.
Hi.
So he's our tech support in HIC parenting, and he's going to be helping us with the slides, because me having ADHD, I cannot multitask that well. I cannot speak to you guys and make sure that the slides are, and I pass the slide. I do one or the other. So he's going to pass the slides, and then that's what we're going to do. We're going to go to a presentation. I'm going to set up expectations, what to expect. I'm going to show you a few stories of real parents who, like you, Danielle, were once stuck in reactivity and how they broke their cycle. And then after that, we are going to go to teaching. So, Fede, porfis. I want to stop yelling and overreacting. Almost 3-year-old son listening in during lunch break to see if anything could help, because he deserves the world. No, to learn how to control my reactions, to stop reacting. So happy here. I'm so happy that you guys are here too. So how I said, I'm going to share with you 2 steps to stop reactivity and become a secure parent. These are more than steps. This is a framework. This is a framework that you can customize for your own experience. And it's the same framework that we give our coaching clients to stop reactivity and parent their children with peace. And I'm very curious, if you are a neurodivergent family, if you have a child, or if yourself, if you are ADHD, autistic, could you please say me in the chat? If that is you, I'm so glad that you're here. Most of our clients are neurodivergent families, basically because they like following us. I share my life as a neurodivergent parent. So that's the kind of people who usually come to our coaching. And I'm so glad that you're here, learning how to stop reactivity and parenting with peace. Your husband is autistic. Okay, that's great. I'm autistic, ADHD, autistic, undiagnosed by everyone, pretty sure. Okay, so let's move forward. Otro, porfis. ADHD, autistic, 10-year-old autistic. My 9-year-old is autistic, ADHD. So these are the 2 steps, or the 2-step framework. And what we're going to do during this class is that we are going to break down each one of these steps. And that's going to be the class. The 2 steps to stop toxic reactions, reactivity, and becoming a secure parent is: number 1, understanding your unique toxic generational pattern so it doesn't affect your parenting today. Danielle, your feelings of rejection, possibly they're not new. They did not start with your daughter. Possibly they started a long time ago. You are going to discover why you feel that way and why you are interpreting her behavior as she is rejecting me. And the same with all of you guys. You are going to gain a full understanding of why you feel the way you're feeling and why you react the way you react. That's section 1. And section 2, I'm going to show you three steps, which is the 3 step framework that we give all our clients to stop reactivity, become insecure parents, and start parenting their children with peace and, more importantly, and accountability. And accountability, because it's not just about connecting with our kids, but raising respectful, kind individuals, right? So that's the important thing. And that's going to be the class. Otro porfis. Every time I say otro porfis, I'm telling Federico to pass the slide. You will feel calmer and more in control. You'll be proud of how you handle challenging moments. And your kids will feel safer and more loved. And they will see you as the parent who listens and cares. Otro porfis. I feel so emotional about this because I feel so guilty about yelling or overreacting. I'm glad that you're here, Arlene. Arlene, is that your name? You, by the way, you guys can open cameras and mics, microphones. This is not a webinar. This is a Zoom meeting. Arlene, okay, cool, good. So this class is for you. Number one, if you are a parent or a caregiver who wants a healthier family dynamic. If you are not a parent or a caregiver, you can stay. I'm not going to kick you out, but this class is not for you. You are open to reflect on your own generational pattern from compassion and self-responsibility. And you want to learn more about how your childhood shaped the way you care for yourself and others. And you want to break free from these generational patterns so your children feel safe and close to you. So if you meet all these requirements, this class is exactly for you. I designed this class for you. Otro porfis. I have a little disclaimer, and it is that this class is for informational purposes only. Do not consider it as parenting coaching, because parenting coaching is a process of months that we do with our clients. This is not counseling. I'm not even a counselor. This is not therapy. Take it as a great class with good information. Otro porfis. So this is how we're gonna do things to set the ground rules. Part one is gonna be the teaching that I already told you the sections of the teaching. Part two is, Marcela, I I understand these steps, but I need someone to hold my hand. I need someone to walk me through and help me apply. So if you need help on the application, if you need direct support, we will tell you how you can access that direct support with us in HIC Parenting. And at the end, I will give you the opportunity to book a free one-on-one session with one of our experts in HIC parenting. So stay to the end so you can book this free session. And then number three is Q&A section if we have time. We are done in 90 minutes, but if we still have time, I will answer a few of your questions. Are you willing and available to take on new clients? Yes, we do have a few spots available. Okay, otro porfis. If you are new to me, would you let me know? If you are new to HIC parenting as well, if you've started following us just less than a month ago, say me, I'm new. If you are new, I want to introduce myself because you might be thinking, I wonder who is she? Why does she know what she knows? Hello, my name is Marcela Collier. I'm a certified parenting coach, former therapeutic care provider, and founder of HIC Parenting Education Agency. My team of coaches and I have served 14,151 clients the last 5 years through our coaching services and products in stopping reactivity, becoming secure parents, and parent their children with peace. That's all we do. We are a parent-centric coaching agency, meaning that we are focused just on the parent, on the parent's emotions, reactions, experience, and we help the parents with the parent. A lot of our competitors focus on how to fix the kids or how to help the kids. Our focus is the parents. So if you would like to have help with you, then this is a great place to start, HIC Parenting. So that's who we are. Otro porfis. And as well, I am a mom. I've been on this for a long time. My oldest one is an adult, and I'm raising 9-year-old twins. One of them is autistic, ADHD. The other one is neurotypical, strong willed neurotypical. And their dynamic is very interesting. I'm autistic, ADHD. And then, yeah, that's who I am as a person and my family. I've dedicated the last 12 years of my life learning everything about breaking generational patterns and understanding generational patterns and learning and mastering the skills to break that cycle. I can say that growing up as Latino, traditional parenting, Latino environment, if you are Latina, say me. If you grew up in traditional environment, say me. I can say that even though I was raised with chancla and spanking and go to your room, I broke my cycle. And now I'm in the mission of helping parents break their cycle as well. Otro porfis. I want to show you before I start sharing with you these steps that changed my life and so many parents' lives. Some of these stories of parents who, like you, came to this free class one day and then they decided to continue with parenting coaching, parent centric parenting coaching, on mastering these skills that you are going to learn today. And this is where they are at right now. This is Zulay. She's autistic, ADHD. She has anxiety disorder. Her daughter is 5 year old, autistic, ADHD. She parents solo most of the time because she's military family. And when she came to HIC parenting, she was at the end of her rope. At the end of her rope, she didn't know how to handle meltdowns. If you're autistic, you might relate to this. I remember her one day saying, like, I feel like my daughter struggles with the same things I struggle. So, well, when she's struggling, I don't know how to help her if I'm struggling with the same thing. And this is what she said after a few weeks of coaching in HIC parenting. What pulled you to say yes to this work, and how do you feel now?
Desperation. I was very desperate for some type of support. Additionally, from being on the spectrum, my husband is in the military, and it's been night and day. Everyone here just made it so simple and so much less scary to do. And it turned my parenting around. A big help. I don't know how I would have done it without the group. I don't know how I would have done it without the group. It's been a lifeline for me specifically. And now I'm happy about being a mommy. And I feel like even with all of the issues I have medically, I am the mommy I've always wanted to be.
Fede, stop that, please. After that was just me crying and crying and crying. But I have a question for you. Imagine that is you. Imagine you saying that I feel so proud of my parenting. I feel I am the mom or the dad that I wanted to be. How would that feel to you? If it was possible for Zulay with all her needs and her daughter's needs, solo parenting, all her family is in Latin America, and she's alone here in the United States, I know it can help. It can help you. She started with this class, and then she needed the direct support and the hand holding, so she joined coaching, and this is her after a few weeks. Otro porfis. And as her, so many other parents. Valerie, autistic son. We have, they kind of blur out. Miranda, she's another military mom he used to spank, and she stopped spanking. We have Fariz, who is a single mom of 3. She didn't know how to handle everything and still remain calm at bedtime. And now she broke her cycle and is a secure parent once she mastered the skills that you're going to learn today. Otro porfis. So let's start with these steps. Remember, it's 2 big sections and we're going to break each one down. Let's start with section 1, which is understanding your unique generational pattern so it doesn't affect your parenting today. We are going to bring up to consciousness what is subconscious right now. There are some things that are making you react that you're not even aware of. And that's what we're going to do on section 1. Otro porfis. Heather, I struggled to teach my toddler how to regulate when I wasn't taught how to regulate in a healthy manner. I feel you. I feel you so much, Heather. I'm so glad that you're here. I remember I grew up with spanking, with being yelled at, and I was loved as well. I remember feeling like if my parents were good to each other, I had a good day. But my parents were fighting. They were reactive. They were reactive about anything my brother and I did. What did your parents or caregivers tell you when they were angry? Not necessarily angry with you, when they were angry, period. What did they tell you? So much walking on eggshells. What did they tell you, Heather? How did you feel? If you could please share in the chat. Let's start this conversation. Let's continue this conversation. They would tell me to be quiet because I said so. Okay. And how did you feel, Arlene, when they tell you because I said so, be quiet, sit down and be quiet? How did that feel to you? I remember feeling a few things. I remember feeling I was an inconvenience for my parents. I remember feeling my neurodivergent needs were an inconvenience for them. I remember feeling not good enough. I felt so dismissive and I just wanted to understand why. Who else? Do you remember your parents and caregivers being playful and calm? Did you ever remember that? There are so many parents who come to these classes and coaching who say, I don't remember much about my childhood. Is that you? I feel like my emotions were bad. Theodora, do you remember your parents or caregivers being playful or calm? And how did you feel? If you don't remember your childhood, that's a survival mechanism. When something gets and feels too scary and very overwhelming to feel, the body, the nervous system, and brain shuts down. So it makes sense if you say, I blacked it out. I don't remember a lot of my childhood. I blacked out of issues with my mom's. Otro porfis. And then you grew up and then you were like, after all, I kind of turned out fine. I pay the bills, I have friends, I have good relationships, but then you became a parent and all the things started to come up to the surface. The rage, the anxiety, the feeling of or the thoughts of not good enough, I'm failing. All these things were not there before I had kids. How come they're happening now? Why can't they just listen to me? Do you relate to this? What was your default reaction when you didn't feel heard by your when you don't feel heard by your children? What is your default reaction? Theodora, are you able to open your mic real quick? If no, it's okay.
Hi.
Hi.
Nice to see you.
Good to see you. What is your default reaction? No judgment here. There is no judgment in this room. For example, for me, it was emotional disconnection, running away or bribing to get them to stop crying.
My reaction was to cope. I learned very good how to cope. So I have ADHD, and I
Okay.
asked my mom how was I when I was a child, and she told me, "Oh, you were always the
No, I'm sorry. Let me stop you there. What is your default reaction when you don't feel heard by your children right now as a parent?
Yeah, it's frustrating because I feel maybe like I haven't taught the baby how to understand me and I to understand the baby. So it's
So,
frustrating. And
how do you react? What do you do?
the theory I know, I try to pause and recenter and talk to the baby. But when the baby is yelling, it's not so easy to breathe and to have the correct reaction.
So,
So maybe,
what
and
is
I
the
feel
reaction?
bad.
Mm.
Yeah.
So, is it yelling? Is it snapping? Is it running
No.
away? Is it
Oh,
hiding?
fortunately, I had a very nice childhood, and
Mhm.
I got that love and support. And I know that the baby
Oh,
isn't mean. So, and I'm here because I want to know how to create this balance for my baby, along with my husband who hasn't had that. He had a horrible
okay.
childhood, and he
Okay.
doesn't know how to
Where is
show
he
this.
at? Where is he at? Did you bring him?
He he couldn't make it, but I
Oh,
will
okay.
tell him about this, all the
Okay.
stuff. So he wasn't
Share the
listened by
replay.
himself. Yeah.
Okay, Theodora. So, yeah, some parents who did not grow up with as fortunate as you may experience things like reactivity, like yelling and snapping, maybe spanking, and they don't want to do that, but they feel stuck in it. Not because they're bad parents, but because of the things, the generational pattern that we're going to reveal. So it may either show up as explosive reactivity or passive reactivity. Let's go to the other one. Let's look at the passive. I feel like I need to sneeze. I know it's going away. Otro porfis. Frustration, anger, passive aggressive. Okay. So the passive reactivity is shutting down, running away, pretending nothing's happening, letting them run the show, bribing. Or some parents leave both. Otro porfis. They try to be patient and they hold it in until they react and then they feel guilty and then they shut down because they feel guilty but they don't know what to do. It's a mix. What is yours? What is yours? I shut down when I get too overwhelmed, so I can't avoid yelling. I definitely do both. So these two are reactive cycles, shutting down, or the active reactive is, these two are two reactive cycles. Otro porfis. And then parents who come to our coaching, parents who I talk to frequently and myself back in the day, many times they tell me one of these three reasons. I react because my children just won't listen. I react because I'm so tired and exhausted by bedtime. I'm reacting. Those are I call the pressure cooker parents. They hold and hold their emotional stuffers, emotional holders, and they react by bedtime, not because they're exhausted, but because they're been holding on emotional charge and an emotional weight all day. I react this way because I don't have enough tools. This is usually the parents who feel that they're not who feel very disappointed of themselves, who believe they're not good enough, that there is always a better tool or something outside of them that's gonna be the answer and not them. I react this way because my children won't listen to me. Usually I call these the firecrackers. They react and then they think second. And then they feel so guilty for reacting. Do you relate to any of these three? One, two, or three? Are you one, two, three? Like which one do you think about often? The third one, two and three. Definitely I have a lot of emotional weight going on in my life. Pressure cooker, okay. One and three. This class is going to be challenging. I'm going to challenge your conceptions, the things that you thought were up until now. Because those are the very same things that are keeping you stuck in reactivity. And this is the start of it. These three reasons are not why we react as parents. They're not. Because all these three reasons are things outside of us. The kids, the busyness of the day, or that there is something outside of me, some kind of tool, magic, hack, techniques, as somebody said in the beginning of the class. I want to know techniques. I'm sure there gotta be some techniques, something outside of me, but that because for sure there is not in me. All that comes from your generational narratives. Let's talk about what the root of it of reactivity really is. And then we think about all these outside of ourselves reasons, and then things come in to our nervous system. I feel like I'm failing. I feel like my children, I fear they're gonna grow up to feel scared of me. I feel like I'm not good enough. What is the narrative? What is the thing that you're telling yourself every day? 100%. I hear you, Corey. What is the thing that you're telling yourself every single day? After you react to your kids, what do you tell yourself? That's very important. I'm failing. I don't want my son to hate me. I tell myself I'm a bad mom. I'm failing my daughter. I'm gonna give you love to all. Thank you for your vulnerability. Thank you, thank you, thank you. These narratives are part of that generational pattern. Let's keep moving forward. Otro, porfis. This is the reality. Chronic reactivity or shutting down doesn't come from external factors like your children or daily busyness or not having enough tools. It comes from subconscious narratives and beliefs you're not even aware of that were downloaded in you in childhood. The reality is that once you master the skills that we're going to talk about in a little bit in section 2 of this class, your children could still be behaving the same way. You could still have the same busyness of the day. You could even still have the same tools you have right now after all the books you've read and all the social media posts you've read. Everything on the outside could still be the same, and you could still be a secure parent once you master the skills and understand what's really going on and the root of your reactivity. Otro, porfis. So let's start unveiling what's happening underneath those subconscious narratives. I feel like I'm failing. I feel like I'm not doing enough. I'm not enough. I feel like no matter what I say, nobody listens. I feel like I'm a bad mom. All these things are not feelings. They're not feelings. And guess what? All these things are not who you are. You know what these things are? Otro, porfis. These things are beliefs that you created in your operational stage of development. And these beliefs take you to react. When someone somewhere downloaded in you, you're not good enough, and now feelings of disappointment come to yourself, you feel you're falling short, that's for sure. There is gotta be some technique out there that is going to help me because I'm not whole, I'm not good enough. And that takes you to react because you feel that way. You believe you're out of tools, you feel disappointed, and then that gives you more overwhelm with your kids and you react. I encourage you to take a screenshot of this portion of the class because this is the more academical part of this class. The other things are going to be a little bit different. Take a screenshot and later on post it on your Instagram stories if you have Instagram and tag us at High Impact Club Marcella Collier. I want to see that you were in class. So where does reactivity come from? It comes from subconscious narratives that were built in childhood. So what happens? Listen to this. This is important. From 1 to 7 years old, this is the pre-operational stage of development. Your brain at that point hasn't started yet developing their logical brain, their prefrontal cortex. So you received all information of the environment, the interactions with your parents, their interactions with peers, how you lived your life. 1 to 7 was received everything through your emotional brain or limbic system. So on that stage of development, and if your children are on that stage, nothing is ever about what I think, but how this feels. Nothing is about the reasons why you should listen to me, is how I feel while you are giving me this instruction. Does this feel safe? Does this feel unsafe? Does this feel connected? Does this feel disconnected? Do I feel loved? I don't feel loved. All the interactions with your kids, 1 and 7, they're received and processed that way. Now what they think, they don't think, my mommy had or daddy had a really long day, that's why they're snapping. They just feel. This feels good, not good, connected, not connected. I feel safe, I don't feel safe. And that was you. So when your parents were fighting because they had a toxic relationship with each other, you did not make sense of it, and they snap at you, and then it was just about how you felt. So what happens? It doesn't stay that way. Your brain kept developing, and at 8 years old, from 7 to 8, you started your operational stage of development. What is this? This is a beautiful stage of development. If you have children on these ages, oh my gosh. Your children are on a prime time of their lives. Why? Because they start developing their prefrontal cortex, which is their logical mind, what makes sense of their experiences. So, but then this is what happened to you and what happens to all of us. All those things that you lived in the first 7 years of life are not wasted at all. They're absorbed. So at 7 or 8, in between those two ages, you recollect all the emotional information that you lived the first 7 years of life, and you start forming beliefs. Why? To make sense of what happened to you in the earliest stages. And these beliefs are, I am loved, I'm not loved. I'm good, I'm bad. I'm valuable, I don't matter. I'm successful, I'm a failure. I'm enough, I'm not good enough. all those beliefs are formed on that stage of development. So now you are a parent, and then this belief, I'm not good enough, there might be something wrong with me, or I need to change. I need to definitely bring some techniques or strategies or tools that to fill that belief of not good enough towards may potentially one day believing I'm good enough. None of those things were created when your kids decided not to listen to you or not talk to you or be rebellious or be defiant. All those parental narratives that we have that create our reactivity come from the early stages of childhood, and those early narratives or beliefs that started in your pre-operational stage of development. Let's take a deep breath. Do it with me. 1, 2, 3. Let's take a deep breath. Look at me, look at me, look at me. There is hope. There is so much hope. Science is on our side. Science says that we can change these narratives and we can rewire our brain, our nervous system, and therefore our children's. Even if they are 12, even if they are teenagers, we can rewire the way they think about themselves and the way that they relate to us. Is this making sense? If yes, say yes. If it's blurry, could you please say blurry? I want everything to be clear, and if it's blurry, I want to explain. Otro porfis. Let me give you an example. So there was this parent. She grew up with the belief of I am bad when I have boundaries. Because in her pre-operational stage of development, every time she tried to use her voice to communicate a boundary, she was shut down with punishment, with shame, with blame, etc. What do you mean I can enter your bedroom? I'm your parent. This is my house. And then that belief of I am bad when I have boundaries was reinforced over and over again. And now this person is a parent with this belief that is very on the bottom of her subconscious mind. She's not conscious of it. And she has a little girl. And then she goes to the store and then she says, okay, today is a busy day. We are going to do groceries. We're going to buy groceries and we're going to go back home, make dinner, and then get to soccer practice. We don't have a lot of time. Don't ask for nothing because there is no, I'm not going to give you nothing. And then the little girl on the way out, she wanted that expensive toy and she whined about it and she cried about it and she kicked her heels about it and she stamped her feet. She was about to have a really big fit. And then this belief kicked in. I am bad when I have boundaries. This belief started creating different feelings. Feeling number 1, this parent felt embarrassed. Embarrassed is fear of judgment. She feared to be judged by other people, that she didn't have it together as a parent. There was another belief. She felt kind of sorry or sad for the child. Like, maybe it's not a big deal. I have the money to buy the toy. And then there was another feeling there that she felt a little overwhelmed by the reaction of the child. Because every time that she had to set a boundary in childhood, she couldn't stick to the boundary without feeling unsafe because she was either spanked or yelled at. So her nervous system and her brain doesn't recognize this is a child yelling. It just recognizes the pattern. This is yelling. Yelling is not safe. Get out of this. So how did the parent get out of that? She gave in. And then she felt so permissive. Because she felt permissive coming out of the store, she started feeling a little angry. She was really angry with herself, but she couldn't recognize it was anger towards herself, and she started showing it as anger towards her daughter and lack of patience. So the daughter was taking too long to buckle her seatbelt because the stuffed animal was too big on the way, and the parents started getting really agitated and snappy and yelled at the kid. The parent felt guilty and said sorry. And then now this belief of I am bad really kicked in. Now she was driving home, and then the father called, "Hey, daughter, I need you to come here to do the A, B, or C in my house." "Dad, but I'm very on top of time. I need to get home because we're gonna get late to soccer practice, and I haven't fixed dinner." Guilt tripping happened as it happened all the way through her childhood. Don't worry, I'm used to doing things by myself. I'm alone. It's okay. You do you. Then this lady, this mom, the belief of I am bad when I have boundaries, did not let her set a boundary, and then she went and helped her father. And then now she was really late for soccer practice. She was fixing dinner really fast, and she was tired and exhausted from being at the store, from dealing with meltdowns, from dealing with the father, for getting out of her way. And then she started getting reactive, very reactive, trying to get her daughter to the car to soccer practice. And then she comes to HIC parenting saying, Marcela, please help me. Tell me how can I be a calm parent? I don't understand why I get so reactive. It's always at the end of the day. But bedtime, I'm the angry mom that nobody wants.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
I don't mean to interrupt, but I have an appointment, so I have to leave this early. I have to leave this class early.
Okay, Cristina.
Will
It's
this
okay.
be available at a later time?
It will be available at a later time, but the things that are going to be offered at the end, such as the free one-on-one session or other things for the live attendees, it's going to be just for the ones who are here. So you will have
Okay.
the replay, possibly not have the access to the other things. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. And how do I access the replay?
You will get an email
Oh,
for
okay.
replay.
Okay.
Mhm.
Great.
Yeah,
Thank you.
sure.
And thank you for what you're doing.
Yeah, you're
I
welcome.
really I really feel heard. So thank you.
Okay, cool. That's the
Bye-bye.
first time that somebody very politely said, I need to go. So is reactivity really caused by the daughter melting down at the store and not finding her soccer shoes and and having a hard time at bedtime? No. The reactivity comes from beliefs that create feelings, and feelings create realities. And this parent was living a reality where boundaries were not part of her reality. She was overworked. I'm sure she had the misconception that her reactivity was caused by her exhausting life, her tiredness. And it was not that. It was a belief. Does that make sense? Where is this coming from? Okay. Otro porfis. So this is how reactivity is born. A belief creates a feeling creates an action or reaction. And then once that happens, you internalize it, you stuff it down, the belief gets stronger, and then the feeling gets stronger, and then the cycle starts all over again. Some parents ask us, do you guys work with parents of toddlers? What about teenagers? What about 10-year-olds? The cycle shows up the same, just in different stages. So we work with parents of kids of all ages, because it doesn't matter if your if your child is a toddler, of a 10-year-old or a teenager. If the belief is if the belief is I am bad when I don't have boundaries, is going to show up in whatever situation you're in, with your toddler, potty training, with your 10-year-old, I don't know, homework, and your teenager, in whatever thing they're living. It's the same thing, just different scenarios. Only 10 months old. No, you have a baby. Otro porfis. And then this parent went to social media. She read books. She bought child-centered courses to teach her how to deal with the tantrum and how to set boundaries and how to discipline without yelling. And all of these things just confirm her belief of, I'm just bad parent because this doesn't work. And it wasn't that. It's not that the tips or the advice or the things that they read or the course, the child-centered course they got is bad. Is that she's operating from this belief, I am bad. And then she came to HIC parenting. She discovered the root of her generational pattern. She learned the 3 skills that I'm going to teach you in a little bit. And not just learn them, she mastered them, she applied them. And everything changed for her. Her name is Naomi. She is a mom of 3, and I want you to hear from her own voice. Otro porfis. Ponla, porfas.
I had been a part of another parenting program, and it was a lot of the words, do this, say this, act this way, and I was getting very frustrated because none of it was working for me. Like, I was really, really trying, and I knew what I wanted, but I had no clue how to get there. And even with the tools that they were giving me, I was just like, I can't. Like, I'm trying to do them, but it's not, like, my children are not responding the way they say the kids will respond. And I don't know, like, how to, like, and it was just a lot of me like, I'm just not doing it right. I'm a terrible mom because they say this works and it's not working. Being able to join this has just been so enlightening for me, to be able to understand and just feel the security within myself. That's been the biggest shift, so that I can show up, for them, being able to learn. And I think the biggest key, and this is what I've told all my friends, go and learn. And so transformational for me. So,
yeah. And how do you feel now?
I feel very, empowered, I think, is the biggest thing for me.
I want to highlight something. Once I felt the security within myself, I was able to show up as a secure parent. Not because she learned hacks and tools, but because she had a different way of relating to herself and feeling herself and living herself. That's how she was able to show up for her kids in a secure way. Otro porfis. I'm going to give you the 3-step framework that she had to become a secure parent. I'm not going to hold anything back. I'm going to give you examples, etc. Parenting coaching is not to learn anything that you already know. It's to help you on the application, on the skill development. It's kind of like, imagine a little analogy. Imagine that this class is like if you go to a really great class where you're going to learn how to eat healthy. And parenting coaching is that you're working directly with a nutritionist who writes a plan for you, considering your needs, your lifestyle, your metabolism, your family dynamic, your relationship with food. That's parenting coaching. So before I show you this 3-step framework, I have a question for you. If nothing changes, if you keep showing up the same way you're showing up for your kids, if you just stay with what you have, which is possibly social media advice or maybe some child-centric books or courses, if you nothing changes, where do you think your relationship with your children would be 2 years from now? Please type it in the chat. A bad one, we wouldn't behave. He wouldn't behave. Okay. Thank you for sharing. Any other one? Let me see. Andrea, Kim, Alma. Possibly no connection, and she will go off to college not to reach out. That's a very common fear that we have from parents who come to coaching. I fear not having a good relationship with my children when they grow up. You guys are in a very good place because you have time. Your children are not adults yet. They're still under your care. And you have the time to change the narrative. But this is the thing. Time is of the essence because children are not getting any younger. You're not going to have the same 5-year-old for 5 more years. You're not going to have the same 10-year-old. They develop really fast. And their stages of development are paramount for their care, like their self-esteem and the development of their character. So my invitation for you is don't take this class as just a really nice class or a class where I went to get some tips, because this is not it. Take this class as part of the start of your transformation, the start of a new way of showing up for your kids, the start of a new future. Because 6 months from now, 6 months, the next 6 months are very important. The next 6 months of your child's lives are very important. These could be the 6 months that will develop great validating narratives in their subconscious mind. So when they're adults, they feel they're good enough and they feel their value and they feel that they're accepted and they're loved and they're secure, etc. But it's important to start today. So let's move to step number 2. To step number 2. How to start healing these patterns so you become the parent you want to be and raise children who love to have a relationship with you. Let's go to step number 1. Vamos. Fede fell asleep. I promise you, this will help us bring everything together. Close your eyes. If you're driving, close one eye, or don't close your eyes. Don't close your eyes. Close your eyes. We're going to do this. Let's go back to that pre-operational stage of development. No, the operational stage of development. When you develop these beliefs, all the beliefs that you have about self, rehearse them in your mind right now. It's important. How old were you? Were you 8, 9? Maybe you remember them more clearly when you were a little older, 11, 12. When you were believing all these things, what were you feeling? What was happening in your environment? Maybe your parents were comparing you once again to your older sister. Maybe they were once again expecting you to be perfect, once again telling you, why didn't you do things right? Once again, what is the once again situation? What were you needing? What were you needing? So many once agains. Amalia, imagine that the Amalia of now, the secure adult Amalia of now, is traveling to that moment to give little Amalia exactly a little word that will help her at that moment. To tell her something that she needed to hear, to feel safe, to feel whole, to believe she was good enough or she was good. What would it be? What would it be? Let's open our eyes. What would that thing be? I needed to feel loved and good enough. What would that be? Please type it in the chat. I want to hear it. I want to read it. You are enough. Everything is going to be okay. You don't have to figure it out all at once. It's okay to make mistakes. What would it be, that thing that you needed to hear? You're a good girl. You're a good boy. You're allowed to have big feelings. You are not too much. You have big feelings and it's okay to feel. It's okay to be angry. It's okay to feel sad. It's okay to feel scared. You're still worthy of love. You feel love and Leo. You feel love a little differently than everyone else. Sometimes you have to trust they love you. I needed to be listened to without feeling judged. You did such a great job. Thank you so much for doing this hard thing. I see you are feeling sad right now. I will sit with you for a little while. Oh, that's so beautiful. I needed to feel seen and heard, loved, that I was enough. I was afraid to show my reactions and emotions because I felt I bothered people. You are seen, Theodora. What about that? Open your eyes if you have not opened them. Otro porfis. I want to tell you something. I'm going to go a little close. Your children need the same things you needed growing up. The same things. They express their needs and feelings many times in the most unlovable ways. But they need the same things. If your child were here, what would you tell them? If your child were here, what would you tell them? I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. Let's imagine starting from now on, every time we discipline our children, we start with the I love you first before any correction. I love you. You are enough. Precious. Otro porfis. So these are the three things, or the three-step framework that we work with our clients to show up as secure parents. Number one, otro. Growing up, you needed adults who understood your needs beneath your behaviors. This is the skill of mindsight, not mindset, mindsight. I'm going to write it down in the chat. No, I wrote it wrong. Mindsight. The skill of mindsight is having the ability of looking beneath the behavior, beneath the hitting, the teenager not talking to me, the shutting down, beneath the yelling, the sibling dynamic, the complaining, the stall, the bedtime stalling, all those little behaviors that to be able to look beneath those and reveal the needs, feelings, and potentially the beliefs. Imagine, just imagine for a second, your parents had that mind size skill. If they were able, imagine your parents had the skill of looking beyond your behaviors and really see that child hurting. What would have meant for you? So that's skill number one that we develop in coaching for our clients. And guess what? We've seen it many times, once they understand their kids more, they're automatically a lot more patient and less reactive because they don't see it as a reflection of them, as I am rejected or I am disrespected or they're doing this to me. They see it as how it is. This child is struggling with this need, with this feeling, with this belief. Otro porfis. Skill number 2. This is the skill of emotional regulation. Emotional regulation, I'm going to challenge your thinking again. Listen to this. I'm going to drink water first. It is not calming our children down. That's a social media idea sold to us in Gentle Parenting TikTok and Instagram to make us feel that we're not good enough if our children are not calming down with us. You need to calm your children down. The skill of emotional regulation is the ability of understanding how to show up for ourselves when we're having big emotions and for our children when they're having big emotions, so we can live all our emotions and they can live all their emotions in safety, even if they don't calm down. I'm going to give you a little example. I had a 3-hour autistic meltdown on an airplane 3 weeks ago. Meltdown on the floor. I mopped the floor. I mopped that floor with my pants. My pants were filthy when I came out of that plane. I had that meltdown because we were stuck in Austin with no gas, no AC. My sensory needs were up to the roof. I had an autistic meltdown, all the sensory overwhelm. But then there were 2 secure flight attendants who show up for me and help me through this skill of emotional regulation. They didn't tell me, calm down, stop crying, it's not a big deal. We're just here stuck. It's okay. Go back to your seat. None of that. The first thing that one of them told me is, let's go to our cabin, let's go to our seat, and you can have your meltdown with us for as long as you can have it. And they remain emotionally composed, present, attuned, and regulated themselves to help me during that moment. It lasted 3 hours. Not because they were doing a bad job helping me, but because my nervous system needed it and it was so dysregulated. I offer a hug. I offer some water. I offer a hug and they don't calm down with me. What am I doing wrong? Nothing. It's not about them. It's about you having the skills to remain composed for them. Because if the flight attendants were freaked out with me, it would have been worse. I don't know what I would have done. So that's the second skill that we develop in our coaching clients, the skill of knowing how to live all emotions in safety. We don't hide in our bedroom. We don't yell. because we're bad parents, but because those emotions feel really overwhelming for us. We don't know how to leave them in safety. Otro porfis. And then there is one last skill. The skill of positive discipline. We still need to teach our kids how to be respectful, how to be kind, how not to hit their brother, but speak kindly to their brother. All that is through the skill of positive discipline. But this is the thing. Listen to this. There is another misconception out there in social media that discipline is stopping behaviors. It is not. Behavior is communication. If you stop communication, if you stop behavior, you stop communication. I don't strive to stop behavior when I'm correcting or disciplining my children. What I strive is to develop skills so they can show their needs through a different behavior. Does that make sense? Otro porfis. The story of Roberto. He thought that correcting behavior was through yelling and spanking. He really thought that he was a traditional Latino father who believed that gentle parenting was permissive. But one day he spanked his daughter and he looked at her and she was scared of him. It was at that point. He said enough was enough. He called his wife Elena. Elena, what is this parenting coaching thing that you were trying to tell me about? Yeah, HIC parent. They came to this class. They ended up enrolling in coaching. And this is what he says about his transformation. Once he once he mastered emotional regulation skills, mindset skills, and positive discipline skills in his home. Porfis.
Or so before I started the parenting coaching, I spanked my daughter that one. I spanked her twice. I remember one time it broke my heart. And I was like, oh my God, she is scared of me. After that happened, I said, this does not work. And that's when I was like, okay. I saw your videos on Instagram and I was like, I really resonated with your message. So I understood that and I was like, okay, I need to do better as a parent.
Roberto, how do you feel in your parenting after all the work here in HIC parenting with Holly, with the program?
I'm a different parent. I don't know how that, like I tell that to Elena sometimes. We're sitting down and I'm like, babe, I'm a different parent now. And I'm like, I'm proud of us. I think a week ago, I'm like, babe. I was like, I'm proud of us. I'm like, we're different parents. I was like, if we didn't take the class, we'd be completely different. And this really, affects the trajectory. Like if I didn't do this, where would I be in 20 years? That's what I kept thinking. Where would my relationship with my daughter be in 20 years? And so these little things that I've done with the coach,
Fede, ya, para,
I'll be
porfis.
friends with my daughter. She's
Imagine what this work could do for your family for the next 20 years. It's not about gaining more tools or strategies. It's about developing skills and understanding to the core your narratives and where it's coming from so you don't keep shooting yourself on the foot. You don't keep sabotaging yourself. That's what you've been doing this whole time. It's not that you're a bad parent, that your beliefs are sabotaging your hard work trying to break your cycle. I have an invitation for you. Otro porfis. Commit to show up differently, consistently. Commit to show up as a secure parent. Otro porfis. Do you think you can raise emotionally healthy children, secure children, once you master these 3 skills? Emotional regulation, mindset skills, and positive discipline skills. Yes or no? If it is a yes, make yourself this a commitment of mastering these skills. Otro, porfis. On this class, I gave you the steps. I didn't hold back. I gave you everything that we know. Now, information and no. Brittany, could you please stop the mute yourself? Mute yourself, Brittany. Information alone won't create transformation. It won't. The application will. Vamos a la invitación. So this is my invitation. Our team of coaches, our coaching team, our advisors opened up our calendars. We only have 17 spots, 17.
Yes, 17.
Okay. So there is still room for all of you guys. But there are more people who are going to sign up the rest of the week. Anyway, so this is my invitation. Scan the QR code you see on the screen, or the link is in the chat. And this will take you to book a free one-on-one assessment session with one of us in HIC Parenting. This is not coaching, because coaching is the process. This is to assess what your needs are. You will gain clarity about basically about 2 things: your own particular reactive pattern, the root of it, your needs, your child's needs, and we will give you our particular recommendation based on what we see. And we will show you as well how we will work with you in coaching, in a coaching process. And you will make your decision. If it is a yes, we will continue with you. If it is a no, and you're like, hey, I'm good, I feel confident after this assessment session and the class that I had earlier in the week, that's good as well. But don't let this invitation, don't let this go. Because you will have a deeper understanding of what you're able to get in social media, of your own patterns, your own beliefs, your own needs, your own children's needs, your co-parenting dynamic. If you are parenting with a husband or a wife, with a spouse, bring them to the call. They need to be there. Possibly they need it more than you. Book it on a time and a date that you're not actively parenting. You know, you don't want the kids to hear all the things that you have to say about them and about your stuff. You know what I mean. When they have a nap, or when they're busy with something, when they're not actively needing you, and show up to the call. Show up to the call. The first thing that you will see is, once you click the link or once you scan the QR code, is a questionnaire. This questionnaire is a pre-call questionnaire for us to gather the information about you, to not show up to the call with nothing for you. We need to prepare. So answer those questions with intention. There are enough spots, not many. We just have enough for all of you. Answer those questions with intention. And then once you answer those questions, we show you our calendar. Book on a time and a place that works for both of you, and then commit to show up. You schedule? That's great. That's awesome. Now, I encourage you to do it right now because this replay will be sent to people who did not show up to this class, and it's almost 100 people. So this thing is we're going to be booked out by the end of today. So go right now to the QR code, book your assessment session, and show up. And you're like, hey, but I don't know when my spouse is able to show up. Then book it yourself. Book it for you. Or ask them real quick, or you think about maybe the possible time that they might be available. That will be best. If you're single, then commit to show up. Maybe line up help with the kids. We're going to do the same. We all have kids in our team. And then commit to show up. Use it as your commitment to yourself of this is the start of my journey to learn the skills to show up as a secure parent, to break cycles so my children don't have to have the same kind of narratives and traumas and relationship that I have with my own parents. Whether you enroll or not in HIC parenting, you will live with nuanced, personalized value for you. As you book your call, if you have any questions about the class, we enter in the Q&A section. What are your questions? You can unmute yourself or you can type it in the chat. What are your questions about this, the assessment one-on-one session, about the class?
I just had a question.
Yeah.
You guys don't have any later times? Because I want my boyfriend to be part of it, but he doesn't get out of work until like 4 p.m.
Do you already go to the calendar?
Yeah, they only have up to like the latest is like 2 p.m.
Okay, would you do me a favor? Could you please, do you see Federico right here?
Yes.
Could you please DM him your name, email, and phone number? And we will reach out to you to coordinate a different time.
Okay, thank you so much. Because I think that I know I can do this, but I think my boyfriend needs this a little bit more than me. So I want to make sure he can make it. So thank you.
Is he the parent?
He is, yes.
Okay. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, I understand. He needs it. There is a 5 p.m. today. Somebody saying, Jennifer.
Let me double check. I didn't see anything, but I'll check right now.
Yeah. Plus, Hanley, the appointments or the times are shown in people's time zones. So when you say 5 p.m., it might be a different timing for Jennifer.
Yeah, because I don't have 5 p.m. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Where are you at?
I'm in LA, in Los Angeles, in LA.
Ah, okay, cool. I was there 2 days ago. Awesome. That's great. There are some people who tell me, Marcela, what about if my spouse doesn't believe in this? What about if they would never do it? I have something to tell you because we've had these situations with parents who come to coaching. Usually, what we've seen is that these skeptical fathers, usually it's the fathers, they do agree with the mom or with the partner. They do agree on the big things. I want to raise a good, respectful, kind adult. I want to raise a good child. So they agree on what they want for their kids, but they might not agree on what the methods that the father have seen the mom applying. Maybe because the mom is bouncing back and forth in a reactive shutting down pattern of trying to do what people call gentle parenting, feeling like you're failing at it, and then yelling or shutting down. So the father doesn't see that as this is effective, this works. So what we've seen happening, and we've seen it to happening over and over and over again, it is that, hold on. It is that once the parent, the one who wants the coaching, once they start the coaching, they start showing up as secure parents, knowing how to discipline without yelling, having emotional regulation skills to remain safe with their kids during their meltdowns, mindset skills of understanding what's going on with their children's needs and communicate a lot better with the kids. Once the fathers start seeing all that in the mothers and that the children cooperate and listen to the mother a lot easier than him yelling, what we've seen is that by the second week of coaching, the father is already on board and is already there in the sessions, trying, learning and gaining the skills. For example, there is one father who I talked to him yesterday, and he allowed me to post it on YouTube. Let me see if I can find his story, because he was so skeptical, guys. And this is what he said when he was done with the process. I posted this yesterday. This was going to work. You did not follow us, so the trust was not really there. It was just more the reference that you have from your wife. So what helped you trust her?
I posted this.
Know it was going to be like this path and this whole thing about doing online coaching, I guess. And I've seen her do it, seen her watch a bunch of videos, has been reference high C parenting, and I was like, I'll give it a shot. And because I joined in just to go as part of this whole thing, because I felt like I needed to be more patient with our boys, and I wasn't sure how this was going to go ahead and help me. In the back of my head, I wasn't, to be honest, I was like, I don't know how this is going to work. And yeah, no, week by week, I saw myself and the relationship that I had with mainly my oldest, it got better. I felt like I was able to not get so hot and heated so quick. So through the coming, as the weeks went on, I saw the progression in myself. And that's when I began to go ahead, and it worked out.
Oh, that's amazing.
Rest of the process.
Right now, on our waiting list, we have fathers who are hesitant, who are yelling at their kids every single day and hating themselves for it. And at the same time, very scared and skeptical about reaching out to us and allowing us to help them. If you were to talk to one of those fathers, what would you tell them?
That I understand the hesitancy, or is that if that's even a word, and not do it, but definitely trust the process, that it works. Take my account for it, that it definitely helps.
You didn't know. So his name is Zach. He was so skeptical. He didn't know this was going to help. He thought that they could do it on their own. And once he started seeing his wife being a secure parent, things changed. And he joined coaching. I think he came to us in the wife's second week of coaching. He's like, okay, teach me. He developed these skills and he became a secure father, and he changed the relationship with his oldest son forever. Okay, hold on. I think there was scheduled the one-on-one. I hope it's more than just promotions. Just could give us a glimpse of what we could do. Hold on. Sorry for the assumption, but I got that from the type of courses that I wanted to participate. Okay. Yeah, I get it. Okay. We are going to be with you for a full hour. It's going to be one-on-one, and you are going to talk more than us. We are going to give you we have a framework of questions, and through those questions, you are going to reveal your own particular reactive pattern, your needs, your child's needs. You are going to get clear on your desire or where you want to be in your parenting. So you will get clarity, a lot of clarity. This is not coaching. We are not going to give you coaching, because coaching is a process. It's like if you go to the gym, coaching is you are there for a while. It's a process. So coaching is a process. The assessment session is more a clarity session where you will get full understanding. You and only you will be the one who tell us, I need coaching or I don't need coaching. If you say, I need coaching, I need the service, I need your coaching support, then with your permission, we will share how our coaching services work. And that's at the end of the call. That's not, most of the time, it's just talking about your particular pattern. Okay? If you don't give us permission, and we always ask for permission to share about our services, we say, okay, cool, that's great. So you feel great about the things that we talked on this session. You feel great about the things that were in the class. And then you feel that you don't need us, okay, and then you go your way. Now, there is one thing. If you don't see yourself potentially joining coaching, if you're just there just to, I don't know, to waste your time, don't schedule the call. This call is for someone who see themselves potentially getting coaching. Because if not, why would we be there, Going to the gym for an assessment session where they measure your body fat, your weight, and your other things, and they give you a fitness plan for you to not continue with it. I don't know how that would work. So it's the same, but in the parenting realm, you will learn about your particular reactive pattern, about your needs, your child's needs, your co-parenting dynamic. We will give you a recommendation of how we will work with you to develop the skills you need, considering your needs. And then we will ask you, do you feel that you need coaching? Would you give us permission to share about our services? And if it is a yes, we will explain to you and you make your decision. If it is a no, we say thank you and goodbye. I hope you come to another class in the future. Is that clear for the one who was asking? Theodora, is that clear? Could you please open the mic?
Yes, thank you very much. I understand it's not coaching very clear now. Thank you for the explanation.
Okay. So how do you feel about us sharing about our services only if you give us permission?
Of course, it's the right way to do it. I wouldn't have
Okay.
it any other way. So I'm waiting for waiting to speak to you on the one-on-one with me and my husband, hopefully.
Okay. It might not be with me, though.
Okay, perfect.
But I have to say something. All of us are top-notch parenting coaches and professionals here in HIC Parenting. I don't know what I would do without my coaching team.
Great like that also.
The stories that you heard, all the stories that you heard were actually parents I did not coach directly. They had other coaches in HIC Parenting. Okay. Any other question before we end this session? Any other question about anything about the class, parenting related question, about the assessment session, about coaching, anything related? You're welcome, Danielle. I remember a parent telling me, I don't know if I could even break my cycle because my child is older. He's a teenager. I don't know if the damage is already done. She's actually 19. She's getting ready to leave for college. She doesn't talk to me anymore. I joined coaching not for her because I feel like our relationship is very strained. I just want to do it right with my 10-year-old so I don't end up there. And she joined coaching just for the 10-year-old. Once she was done with coaching, she told me crying. She said, I thought I lost my daughter. But once I became a secure parent, I'm not just sure that I'm going to have a good relationship with my son, but I restored the relationship I have with my daughter. She wants to hang out with us. She doesn't lock herself in her room for hours upon hours anymore. She's starting to open up about her feelings and about her boyfriend and about her things when she used to keep it to herself and just share it with her friends, and me knowing things about her just from third party. Coaching gave me my daughter back. 19. 19. Just think about something. Imagine, Danielle, you have a teenager, or the ones who have older kids. Imagine your parents learned to be secure parents when you were a teenager. Would have that helped you? Of course. Healing is always available. Always. It's always available. Always available. There was another father who said, my reactivity is just the routine. I know if I have a better routine, I would not be this reactive. Blaming reactivity to routine is like blaming the water for your leaky roof. The leak is not because of the water, it's because of the hole you have on the roof. The lack of the routine is the symptom, not the problem. He came to coaching, and guess what? The routine stayed kind of the same because he was a single father, ADHD, he still had his needs. We helped him a little bit get organized in the routine, but more importantly, we developed the skills to show up as a secure parent when the daughter was melting down in the night, and instead of yelling, he was emotionally regulated for her. They started sleeping better because she was not melting down as much. She felt safe with him. And then the next day, it was not as hectic because they were rested. And the behaviors were not as high because they were rested. And all because he fixed reactivity. It wasn't the routine. That routine was the symptom. The reactivity was the cause, which it was at the same time the symptom of deeper things like his internal generational narrative and his feelings of not good enoughness when his daughter was melting down in his arm and he thought he was doing something wrong. And he wasn't doing anything wrong. He was just interpreting that as this meltdown means I am a bad father. What's going on for him? He is in Europe, by the way. He's in Netherlands. He's doing great. The daughter is going to sleep at a decent time, and he feels very hopeful for the future. I have a parent coach question. Do you think the neurodivergent kids? Deborah, could you please open the mic, please?
Yeah, sorry. Parent-child interactive therapy, or I guess also yours as well. Just looking at different options.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Is your child autistic?
No, but just wondering in general.
What do you say?
No, not with the diagnosis, just wondering in general for clients and things like that.
Okay. So therapy doesn't coaching doesn't substitute therapy. Therapy doesn't substitute coaching. Most of our neurodivergent families do both. I do both for my kids. My neurodivergent son goes to therapy to help him with his sensory needs and with his social needs and other things. Coaching is for the parent, with the parent. So parent-child interaction therapy is focused on helping the parent with challenging behaviors, and that's great. Parent-centric coaching is helping the parent with their own behaviors as parents, their own emotions, their own reactions, and their own internal subconscious narratives. So I would do both if you can. That would be best.
Okay.
Now, my
thank you so
question
much.
for my question for you is, what do you think you need?
Figuring that out, I think.
I get it. Okay. What is the hesitation about like not knowing if parenting coaching is the route?
I think it's just a lot of therapies and financials situation. It's just like there's a lot that plays into it.
Okay, I understand. So it's more like a financial decision. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, and I've heard other people say that PCIT for neurodivergent is not helpful, and some people say it is. And then I just wasn't sure what your opinion was.
Well, I'm not a therapist to talk about therapy processes. So I cannot give you a professional opinion about therapy if I'm not a therapist. But I could give you the difference between them two, therapy and parenting coaching. Do you think it's clear for you what the difference is, or do you still don't know?
No, I think it is. Thank you. I just wanted to know, I guess, from your perspective of like what you've experienced with your clients and then also with
Okay.
your children and things like that. So that was helpful.
Okay.
Thank you.
Is it okay if I share my experience as a mom, not as a professional, as a parenting?
Always. Sure.
Okay. My oldest son, he's neurodivergent, ADHD. He has mood disorder, PTSD. He came to my care when he was 9. So he was already an older kid with very rooted patterns and subconscious beliefs and all that. And then he used to go to therapy. He used to go to therapy to help him with his behaviors, to process his trauma. And this is what happened. While he was in therapy, while he was in the session, things were okay because the therapist knew how to work and help him. And the therapist had skills herself to show up as a secure professional for him. But when we went back home, my reactivity, my subconscious beliefs, my own patterns, all these things that we talked in this class played a part, and I was not a secure parent for him. I was shutting down. I was telling him to go to his room. So basically, it felt like with everything the therapist was doing with the hand, I was erasing it with the elbow. That's a Colombian saying we have. I don't know if you have that saying in your countries. Because I was not able to show up as a secure parent. Once I discovered parenting coaching, that's when everything changed. And things started become a lot easier because the things that were worked in therapy, I was able to replicate them at home because I had the nervous system and emotional capacity and availability and skills to show up as a secure parent and practice the skills that the therapist was telling me to practice with my son, who was highly aggressive and who had a lot of mood swings all over the place. So is it that therapy does not work? When people tell you therapy does not work, I would question that. Because from my own experience, therapy does work, but only works if we keep the work at home. But if the parent that you're talking to, the parents you're talking to who say who does not work, is not a secure parent, who doesn't have skills, who doesn't have emotional regulation, who's snapping and yelling and shutting down, there is no therapy that will work for those children.
That makes sense. Thank
So
you.
Deborah, I would take that with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
I think that's the right expression.
Yeah, that's right.
I would take that with carefulness, what people are telling you that therapy does not work, because therapy works But it is, of course, a lot more effective when we're able to replicate those skills at home. But we need to be on the right place to be able to help our kids. And that's where parenting coaching comes, to help the parent so they can have the capacity to help their kids.
Thank you. I love that. Thanks.
Now, with that insight that I gave you, not as a professional, but as a mom who lived this process, what do you think you need?
Probably both, I would assume.
Okay. Did you book your assessment session yet, Deborah?
Not yet. No.
Okay. So that was your hesitation. Deborah, would you do me a favor? The link is in the chat. Would you like to book an assessment session and see? I mean, it's an exploration session. It's not a commitment session. You will.
Yeah, I can talk to my husband.
Okay. Okay. Hopefully you find a spot. Or you can book it right now. Hopefully, so you can choose between the times. Or if you do it tomorrow or in 2 days, you might not have the option of choosing the best timing.
Right. I can look.
Yeah, yeah. Any other question, Deborah?
Probably, but I can't think of any right now.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Okay, so we're done. Federico, how are we doing? ¿Cómo estamos?
And we have 5 spots left.
Okay, guys, 5 spots left. Don't allow the replay crowd to come and get all the spots. You guys were with me here until the end. You deserve to have a spot on your assessment session. So just go right now, click the link. It's in the chat. Answer the questions with care. So we prepare for the session, commit to show up, and show up for the assessment session. Let's go to the last slide because I have a bonus for you, for all the attendees of this class. So I have a live attendee bonus section, bonus lesson for you. This is one of our best sellers, is the Coping Strategies Guide. This is a simple guide. It's a written guide where I show you different strategies that I use with my twins, especially my autistic son, to help them learn how to manage their emotions. Because this class was heavily parent-centric, I wanted to give you a child-centric tool to help you. A child-centric meaning geared towards helping your kids. Okay? So if you're watching the replay, I'm sorry. This is just for the live attendees who are right now in the room. To access this bonus, all you have to do is, number one, send us an email to info@hicparenting.com. Take a picture of this slide so you are able to remember what the email is. Send us an email to info@hicparenting.com. And number two, you will receive a response with the access info to download your coping strategies guide. What would we want the email to have? A review about the class. How would this class will help you in your parenting? How will it help you moving forward? How do you feel before the class? How do you feel now? Just that. Just give us a positive review. It doesn't have to be a biography. And it doesn't have to be, hey, the class was great. What is my guide? Just make a conscious effort, and we will reply to you with access to the Coping Strategies Guide. And this bonus expires tonight. So make sure that you do it today. Let's go to the main room. Let's open the cameras if you're able to open the camera. Let's open the cameras. If you're able to open it, I want to close. Theodora, Jennifer, Deborah. I would like to meet Deborah. If you can open the camera, that would be great. Amalia. Hi, Amalia. How do you feel throughout this class? Oh, it was a lot, right? I don't know if you're able to unmute.
Sure. Kind of just writing this up on that handy dandy email right now, anyways. I wasn't really sure what to expect because I'm already doing a lot of work in personal therapy and couples therapy and, all the fun. But I figured, saw your videos on Instagram. I was like, okay, this is free. I can give it a shot. It won't hurt anything. Um, and I realized while watching this that I know a lot of this stuff already, but I
Mm,
always had a block at the what do you tell your younger self part.
mm,
So I just like couldn't, so stuck in my brain that I couldn't even picture what the healthy thing could or would be, or in a
mm,
way I could potentially believe it. So actually hearing some of your examples that like lined up really well with my experience of parenting actually really helped that.
mm,
So, yeah, some things that I hadn't fully realized was going on, like the I have a really hard time with boundaries thing.
Yeah, that's a
That was,
common scenario for a lot of us.
yeah, definitely comforting, even though I logically know all the things. I just have had a harder time emotionally getting there. So this definitely got me a step closer. So thank you.
Yeah, cool. Yes. And Amalia, coaching will help you on the application. So the things that you know logically are materialized in your parenting. The difference with therapy is that therapy stays alive in the past. We go to the past to see the narratives, but we connect it right to the parenting dynamic. It is very, parenting coaching is, um, it's very focused on the parent-child dynamic, not on the overall person as therapy does, if that makes sense. Yeah. How do you think that this could help you moving forward in your parenting, this new understanding? Yeah, you.
Um, well, I think having more words to describe what's going on will help me kind of discuss it in general with others as well as myself. And just being more aware of the specifics of what I'm being reactive towards. Um, if I can catch it, then I can start fixing it.
Okay, cool. Amalia, this was a general class still because I don't know your story. I don't know your kids. The best way to get more nuanced understanding is the assessment session. So my encouragement is if to book it. That's my invitation. You don't have to. It's not,
Already done.
you don't have to, but that's my encouragement. And if you want to join us in coaching, great. And if not, it's good as well. It's your decision. But the assessment will give you clarity, more clarity. Yeah, cool. Thank you. Thank you so much, Kim, Maria, Siomi, Alma. Thank you for coming. You guys are great parents. Great, great parents. I just want you to start believing it, which is different. And we'll see you at the other side. Bye, everybody.